What is going on, Life Fitness Coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Internet podcast. It's your boy, Brian Mark. And in today's episode, we're talking about hitting a milestone that we have been hunting for the last 3 years, hitting $10 million in 2024. $10 million in 2024. This has been a goal that I've set for the last 3 years. It's been one that I put on my vision board that I set as an intention that I was hunting for the last 3 years. And I'll be honest, this was a goal that I didn't talk about very publicly until this year. And I started talking about it this year because like up until this point, like 3 years ago, the business was doing 2 to 3 million a year. And my goal is to get it to 10. And we ended up falling short. We ended up hitting like 4. And then the next year we ended up hitting 7. And during that time, the whole intention every day was to get the business to 10 million. But I had people that literally worked at my company. Like this was people that were working in my organization that were like, dude, like 10 million is too ambitious. Like that's like way too big of a number. Like you shouldn't be setting that type of goal. Like that's too far outside of reach. And that's not realistic. And it's not reasonable to say that we're going to hit that in the next year or two. And that type of doubt is literally the thing that fuels my fire the most. Is when I set a goal for myself and I say that I want to do something and everybody around me says it's fucking crazy. Like that is how I know that like that's the right goal. And I think that when it comes to like setting these big audacious goals, like for me hitting 10 million, for you it might be hitting your first, $100,000 in a year, or your first $50,000 a month, or your first $10,000 a month. I think that when it comes to setting these big audacious goals, like I will set the goal and remind myself of it every day, but I don't need to tell everybody else about my goal every day because I'm too busy telling myself about it every day. So every day I'm telling myself, like, we're hitting 10 million, we're hitting 10 million, we're hitting 10 million. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When I'm having conversations with my team members and we're talking about the goals for the business, like the goal for the business is 10 million. And they're like, oh, that's not realistic. I'm like, I understand that you don't think it's realistic, but like that's the goal is we're hitting 10. So I think that the craziest part about hitting 10 million, I think for me is like we just had back-to-back $1 million months, which has never happened before. This is the first time that's happened. And like I'm gonna say something that is gonna seem weird, but it was easy to hit back-to-back $1 million months. It was easy. The easiest thing I ever did was that. The hardest thing I ever did, and the hardest thing I do, and where the real fucking battle is convincing myself that it's going to happen. That's the hardest fucking thing to do, is to convince yourself that you're going to do it. Because when you come from a background like I do, like you guys, I was born and raised in a family that everybody in my family said money doesn't grow on trees. Like when I was going to elementary, junior high, high school, when my grandma would give me lunch money, it would be the last $10 that she had in her purse, which meant that she wouldn't have a lot of money for gas. We would go to the gas station and she would fill up on like loonies and toonies. Like I lived in a trailer park 12 years ago on my grandma's couch as an addict. So I know what it's like to literally come from fucking absolutely nothing. And the hardest thing I ever did was to convince myself that it was going to happen. But once I did that, like once I had absolute conviction and faith that it was going to happen, it was easy for me to do the things that were going to get me closer to it because I knew what I was working towards. I knew what the target was. I knew what the goal was. I knew what the destination was. And it wasn't a challenge for me to do the things every single day that I knew were going to get me one step closer because I knew one day, sooner rather than later, I would be celebrating the milestone that I had set as a destination, as a vision, as a goal 3 years out. And here we are, December 30th, on the last fucking 3 days of the month, we hit a goal that we set 3 years ago, $10 million in 2024. It's fucking insane. Okay. It blows my mind. And I don't talk about this to like flex or brag because I will be honest, like the amount of money that I make now, there's no difference in my lifestyle compared to the amount of money I was making at $2 million dollars or $3 million. There's no difference at all. And the reason this is such a cool fucking milestone that I want to share with you and I want to give you what I'm learning from it is because I was a fucking nobody, literally a nobody. I was a nobody 12 years ago. And I just made a fucking decision that I was going to be somebody. I was going to be something. I was going to do something with my life. And knowing that I came from nothing and that I'm here today, I feel like it's my responsibility to share with everybody listening to this episode right now that you can do anything that you set your fucking mind to. When you make the decision that it's already done, you block out the opinions of everybody else, you stay narrowly focused on your fucking goal, and you do not allow anybody or anything to get in your way, period, ever, full stop. Any one of you guys can achieve any goal that you set for yourself. I used to use money as a measuring tool of your personal development, and I still do. Like I still do think that like the more money you make, the more personally developed you are, because society conditions us to think that we need to go to school, get a job, get a career, fucking get benefits, and have that be our fucking life, and get married, have kids, blah blah blah. So for entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship isn't fucking taught in mainstream. It's not like entrepreneurship is fed to the kids in high school. Like that's not a thing that a lot of people do. And so for you to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to be very highly personally developed because you're different than everyone else. You're different. You're not the same. You're an anomaly. And so when you go into social situations or you go into social environments or you're around your family or around your friends that all have different mentalities as you, it's really easy to get sucked into their thought process. And they tell you that it's like, you're not realistic, honey. It's not fucking realistic to be able to say that. You should set a smaller goal. You should get a job. When are you going to school? Blah, blah, blah. So it's really easy for us to get sucked into that. And when we get sucked into those thoughts, what do we lose? We lose the conviction that we're going to do the fucking thing. We lose the conviction that we're going to accomplish the goal, which is why the easiest thing you'll ever do is be successful. The hardest thing you'll ever do is convince yourself that you're going to be successful. But that's where all the work is. It's that like daily mindset work. It's the fucking daily like affirmations. It's the daily listening to my vision video. It's the daily meditations. It's the going to hypnosis every week. It's the doing therapy to work on my trauma. It's the getting out of my own fucking way and stopping all of the things that are holding me back from being successful so that I can just exist and be successful. This is the thing. I think a lot of you guys are under this pretense that you have to develop successful traits in order to be successful. And that to me is the last piece of the equation. The first piece of the equation is you need to stop doing all the shit that's holding you back. Like I stopped partying. That was step one. I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking weed all the time. I stopped hanging out with friends that were fucking holding me back. I stopped going to environments that were triggering me. I stopped sleeping in. It's like, and then when I stopped doing all those things, I had all this fucking empty space. And with all this empty space, I could either go back to the fucking place that I used to be, go back to the person that I used to be, go back to the environments that I used to hang out in to cure my loneliness, go back to the fucking place that I feel safe. Or I could just go in here in my fucking head and make the decision, I'm going to hit $10 million. I do not care what it fucking takes. I do not care how long it takes. I do not care how many years I have to put into this venture. I will stake my existence on the achievement of this goal. And I know for a fact I will achieve it because I believe that I am destined to do so, period. And then every single day, everything that I do is to get me one step closer to that goal. That's how I'm fucking feeling. And I'm excited about this because I truly believe this. I believe that my entire purpose on this planet is to be a testament to what's possible. I believe that's my purpose for life. I believe that's why God put me here. I believe that's why God put me through adversity to help me come over it so that I could learn the lesson, so that I could teach it. So the reason I'm fucking excited about this is because you guys get to watch this happen. And that means that like, just by seeing me do it, you are activating that success inside of you because you're seeing somebody else just like you fucking climb the ladder. And like, this is step one. Don't get me wrong. I'm super fucking grateful for the level that we just accomplished. I'm very happy. I'm fucking over the moon. Whoop, whoop. Fucking party hats on, baby. You jumped into a fucking pile of snow. I'm fucking stoked. And also, this is only the beginning. And so for everybody listening to this that thinks it's too late, that thinks they're too late, that thinks they waited too long, whatever the fuck, I want you to know that like, this is my step one. Step two is going to be sick. Step three is going to be sicker. Step four is going to be sicker. I've already told you guys what some of my goals are. I've talked about it on the podcast. You guys have heard me say it. I don't even fucking need to say it because I'm going to show you. This is step one, but it's just confirmation and affirmation. And it is a realization that I'm on the fucking way. And that feels good. So guys, to end this podcast, I want you to know that anything that you fucking want in life, you can have. Anything you want. And the goals that people think are fucking insane, the goals that people think are crazy, the goals that people think are audacious are the very same goals that you should go after relentlessly with every part of you. You should have people in your life calling you crazy. You should have people in your life that think you're delusional. Because funny thing is, right? Funny thing is, this is the funny thing about success. I'm going to tell you a fucking secret, okay? Funny thing about success is everybody will talk shit. Everybody will doubt you. Everybody will criticize you. And then when you make it, everybody's going to say that they know you. Everybody's going to say that they used to know you. Everybody's going to say that they've been around since day one. So those people that are talking shit right now, that are fucking criticizing, that are blaming, that are fucking shaming, that are trying to pull you down, those are the very same people that are going to be inspired by you when you fucking do it. So do it. Peace.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at TheRealBrianMark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.